Thank you, Greg. A direct attack today from Iranian soil against Israel's sovereign land as hundreds of ballistic missiles rained down on the Holy Land.
Wow, this is right over my house right now. Look at that. These are actual missiles that are being shot onto Israel. Look, they're right here. They're all around my house here in Judea. It's pretty unbelievable.
Air raid sirens earlier today prompted Israeli residents to shelter in place or a race to nearby bomb shelters. The Iranian attack is believed to be in retaliation for the killing of Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah last Friday, following the Israeli airstrike on his hideout in Lebanon. CBN News Jerusalem Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell says when the warning sirens went off, he parked his car and ran into a nearby hotel for shelter along with dozens of others.
Things have changed dramatically since April, and dramatically in the last couple of weeks with the elimination of Hassan Nasrallah, with the pager attack, with the decimation of much of the rocket arsenal of Hezbollah. So we'll see what happens.
Israeli Defense Forces have confirmed they will retaliate, but in a way and time of their choosing. Israel's ambassador to the United Nations, Danny Danon, stated this afternoon retaliation will be, quote, noticed and will be painful. IDF officials said the attacks appeared to be over and for now that there is no more threat from Iran, according to the BBC. The damage is still being assessed. According to reports, a few of the Iranian missiles landed in the center of the country and other areas down south. A BBC report has Iran claiming 80% of projectiles hit their targets. Iranian Revolutionary Guard sources told state media in Tehran that it had targeted 3 Israeli military bases. However, the IDF has stated that a large number of the missiles fired by Iran were intercepted. As this attack unfolded, 2 terrorists opened fire this evening on civilians along Jerusalem Boulevard in the city of Jaffa, south of Tel Aviv. Breitbart News reports it is believed to have been a terror attack, severely wounding at least 7 people. Defense Department officials, along with Secretary of State Antony Blinken, reacted to the attack by Iran.
As you're aware, Iran conducted a significant attack against Israel today, launching approximately 200 ballistic missiles targeting several locations in Israel. We condemn these reckless attacks by Iran, and we call on Iran to halt any further attacks, including from its proxy forces. During the attack, the U.S. military coordinated closely with the Israeli Defense Forces to help defend Israel. U.S. Navy destroyers deployed to the Middle East region supported the defense of Israel by firing approximately a dozen interceptors against the incoming Iranian missiles.
A few hours ago, Iran, for the second time in the space of 5 months, launched a direct attack on Israel, including some 200 ballistic missiles. This is totally unacceptable, and the entire world should condemn it.
President Biden and Vice President Harris monitored the attack and the American and Israeli response from the Situation Room. Earlier, Greg Stevens spoke with the director of Hayovel in Israel.
Joining me now is an American citizen who's lived in Samaria for the past 20 years at Hayovel. Josh Waller, welcome to Victory News.
Thanks for having me on.
Hey, listen, you've got your vest on, rockets flying over your head. Tell us what you saw tonight in Israel.
Yeah, so just here joined the first response team of our local area, and it's unbelievable what we just saw. I talked to the first response team guys here, and they said they've never seen anything like this. We had the last Iranian missile crisis that was here, but this was just unbelievable. We had a 12-minute notice, and then all of a sudden the skies were filled with rockets. For every rocket that's being shot, there's not exact, some 180 something were shot right here over my head. With those Iranian rockets flying in, the Iron Dome rockets shooting up is what you see on the screen right now. Literally all happened over my head here. Shrapnel began to fall around us as we were outdoors because on the security teams here. And, thank God. You guys, I have to tell you, we're witnessing biblical miracles in the land of Israel today. With this kind of threat, there's still no reports, and Lord willing, this is true, that there's no casualties in Israel. may that be. I haven't heard of any yet. To have this kind of response, guys, this is miraculous.
Okay.
God is alive and well and watching over you.
You had shrapnel that landed near you, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. What's the mood in Israel right now? I heard there was a lot of relief when the head of Hezbollah was killed. And this is in response to that. What's the mood in Israel now?
Well, I'll tell you what happened. I haven't yet. The response around me is it's very, just thanking God. And I'll tell you, that's exactly what happened on the last Iranian crisis was. Psalms were one of the most popular Google searches in Israel. People were thanking God. They were recognizing that this was a miracle, that God was watching over them. So I would imagine right now, Psalms of Thanksgiving is going to be one of your most, that's the mood in Israel. They're recognizing this is miraculous.
I read Psalm 3:3 just a moment ago. But thou, O Lord, are a shield for me, the glory and the lifter of mine head. Josh Waller, thank you so much for the report and the video that you sent us. And know this, that Americans all around the world, Americans here and people all around the world love Israel, and we're praying for you daily.
Amen. Keep praying. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Josh. Thanks for being with us. All right, let me get your expertise on this. I want to speak to you about the 200 ballistic missiles that Iran fired on Israel civilians today. Israel actually faces a conflict on 7 fronts: Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, what the world calls the West Bank, we know as Judea and Samaria, Iraq, Yemen, and Iran. Now, God Almighty and the Iron Dome protected these citizens. Iran says don't do it in return, don't attack us in return. So what will Israel do, you think, in these days ahead?
Well, I think you can expect Israel to go and look at a further decapitation of any type of leadership, being Iranian leadership, Hezbollah leadership, Hamas, Houthi leadership. We have seen them strike back against the Houthis as well as Hamas and Hezbollah in areas where they thought that they were safe. And I think that's a big concern for Iran. But without a doubt, one of the things that you have to consider is that you have had in the Biden-Harris administration, Joe Biden, also Kamala Harris, say one single word to Iran. That was don't. And they continue to do exactly the opposite. So we see a weakness that is coming from this administration. And I think Prime Minister Netanyahu has realized I have to go on the offense. I cannot sit back and wait to see what the results will be from the American presidential election. And he's going to put Iran and those terrorist proxies in an untenable position. So I think that they will continue to up the pressure in a way that they see and a time that they see fit.